Hello. Thank you for joining me for this webinar. This is probably one of the best subjects in my life. I love organization. I love things that are in place. I have spent many years throughout my professional life organizing everything, organizing protocols, systems, creating step-by-step systems on everything that you can think of, especially in the area of having a great, successful business. And so I've created this video, 10 steps of getting your office organized and the things that we want to do about this. You see, an organized environment is something which is important and it's appealing. An organized office has been shown to reduce stress. Just a mere appearance of clutter signals to your brain that there is extra work to do, even though there may not be. And when your brain feels overwhelmed by all this actual perceived work, it triggers a stress response. Organizing your workspace reduces the frequency of that stress and gives you the feeling of control. Plus, being organized will help you become a more efficient person, a better professional in whatever it is that you do. I promise you this will change everything in your life if you follow some of the directives which I'm going to cover with you today. Searching for files, for instance, in a disorganized workstation can just waste time and renders everything that you do less effective. If your goal is to lead a productive life, there is evidence in all the writings to suggest that clutter decreases your chances of becoming successful, both by boosting your effectiveness and by creating a positive impression of your work habits. And this is with yourself and your colleagues as well. There's no question that there is a cultural argument to be made for office organization. How you organize your office affects how your team behaves in that space. And strategically organizing your office will help you create the company culture for your team and the ones that they need in order to meet your goals. In this video, I hope that you will see the power of simple organizing ideas. And if the thought of reworking your messy desk or moving around some of the furniture gives you heart palpitations, just makes you nervous, just relax and listen to what I have to say and see if this is beneficial. You don't have to use all the ideas, but I promise you that they're all good. I've gathered some of the best office organization ideas from my years of experience as a consultant. You probably already know that I manage over 1,200 centers in 45 states, with hundreds and hundreds of these centers being the top elite producers in America. And these are important facts. These are real. So here's number one on my list. In your desk, in your office space, this may sound ridiculous, but so important. Hide the wires. Listen to this. Hide the wires. Out of all the work desk organization ideas, this one is my favorite. And with all the monitors, the computer towers, and the mouse, and the laptop, and the phones, and the chargers, and all those things that exist today, the number of wires in front of us can quickly get out of hand. And reducing the visual clutter helps reduce the stress. I promise you on that. You'll try it, you'll see it. Hiding all those messy wires is essential to your success. Trying to bind some of the clips might help you get them out of the way. But figure out a way to get rid of that. Look at this desk space. This isn't the desk that I work in. This is my desk for information, where I do my videos. But if you went to my desk in my office, you will see that it's completely clear. Everything is hidden. All the wires are gone. I have hardly anything on my desk. Just the paper that I need of what I'm working on at the time I'm working on. And everything keeps being filed. Never clutter that part. Here's number 2 on my list. Automating the recurring tasks. You've got things that you have to do throughout the day. You know what they are. I know for a fact that there are tons of tasks that you do on a regular basis because that's what it is. But sometimes it may take a disproportionate amount of your time. It may do that. This disproportion could create a headache, could create an issue. For instance, in an office, let's say you're the manager of the office. You might be in charge of, let's say, restocking the office supplies or scheduling meetings or checking in on patients. If you automate these tasks they get off your plate. For instance, you could have a program, some of my doctors use it, it's called a visitor management system, which is called like Greetly. And what it does is it takes a ton of legwork out of signing in the patients, using the scheduler, all of that. And it practically does the scheduling for you. And of course, you can automate all the supplies and everything else as well that you have. This is an important concept. Here's number 3 on my list. This one is not easy for some of you that may be older that did not get to spend more time learning about the latest technology development, the latest app, the latest phone, the latest gadgets. And that is to try to go paperless. It's not so simple. And you don't have to go everything paperless, but some of those things. It's an easy way to get rid of all the random scraps of papers, messy notebooks and sticky notes everywhere and post-its for this and all this litter. It's just going crazy. You've got apps like Evernote or Google Keep or Bear and a ton of others. They make what they call a cloud-based note-taking system, and it's super easy. Personally, I switched to Google Keep, and it was mentioned to me by one of my assistants, and I love it. I think it's the greatest thing because it keeps showing everything that I need. And not that you're getting rid of the pen and the paper, but it makes it a lot easier. And Google Keep enables you to take notes, first of all, faster, and it syncs all your notes across all your devices. So if you're using one device or another, it does that as well. And it helps you control that. It makes a big difference. I'm going to suggest something else also. And this, I don't want you to think this is a plug for the system that I do, but what I have. But I created myself a planner, an ultimate planner. And it's got all the directives and concepts and protocols and systems. It's an easy one. It's cheap. Actually, we only sell it at the cost of what it costs us to produce it. That's really all of it, because the reason we have it is because I know many of my doctors are not able to get rid of some of those things. They need something that they want in their paper, in their hands, something that they use. And so with a planner, in this planner, you'll be able to use that. If you're interested in it, contact me and I'm more than happy to share it with you. There are other things that you can use also. Number one on my list was to make sure that I knew what I was doing and I was comfortable with that. You can use those tools also. And one of the tools is called Dropbox or Box. It's essential when it comes to reducing paper clutter again, because it's everywhere. And it makes filing cabinet disasters go away. You can save and you can share files. It's in the cloud, meaning it's on the internet. You don't see it. For those of you that are a little bit confused about that, it's not something you can see, but you can see it on your desktop. You can see it on your tablet or your phone. And help reduce paper waste. And fortunately for you, those things that sometimes you have to have because you want to print it and it doesn't work, gone. You can use what is called a daily docket style, and it's a notepad. And if paperless mess makes you uncomfortable, try switching maybe from a boring old to-do list to a daily docket. You know, it's could be easily gotten. There are style pads that you can buy today that are inexpensive and highly effective. Again, if you want to use my planner, you're welcome to. Number 5 on my list is to organize your inbox. I'm positive that most of you, if not all of you, use mails. And of course, use email. And email is the widest type of communication that exists in the world today. And it's not going anywhere. It's not ever going to go back to the old way. I promise you that. It's just the way things are. And it's crazy how much time we spend in email. Even if your physical desk is spick and span, if you have a messy inbox, it leaves you feeling overwhelmed. And because of that, the labeling system can be complicated. what do I do with all those emails and all those junk things that I don't want to see and all these things that should go to the trash? It's unusual, but that's the way it goes. So, just for instance, if you use Gmail, you can switch your inbox to a priority mode. And from that, you unsubscribe instead of deleting the newsletter and emails and things like this. They're not providing any value that you're interested in, so get rid of it. And you can create filters for certain types of emails, like the ones with the tons of recipients that you're not interested in that. Something to remember, however, in organization, that organizing stuff takes time. It's not going to happen overnight. Don't think, oh, Dr. Dahan said this, I'm going to sit on my desk and it's going to be done. No, it's going to take time. But once you organize it and you keep up with it, to persevere on that, it is a miracle and a blessing. And anything that you do will make a difference. So number 6 on my list, I wanted to make sure that you knew that starting any organizing initiative by first decluttering everything you plan to organize. This keeps you from wasting time on organizing the things that you're not going to use later on. It also makes sure that your final organization scheme will be as useful and possible that you will need to reorganize it at some other time. Organization means continuously looking for ways to make it better. And you might be thinking, of course I need everything I plan to organize. I need all of this. Well, if this is true, then it doesn't really hurt to examine everything that you have and just see, is it really necessary? We all have impulses to keep things. It's amazing. It's the joke that goes around in the drawer that each member's homes have a junk drawer with all the junk that goes in there. A button, an old knife that doesn't work, paper clips that have been there forever, keys that we don't even know what they serve or where they came from, an old battery of whatever it is, sometimes everything. And after all, we say, well, we never know when we might use them again. Well, take a second and make sure you're happy with your office design, and if you are, then take the step to organize it. Pay particular attention to the things that are duplicate, the items that have a duplicate function. For instance, do you have 3 pens and 2 pencils and 2 mechanical and short one and one with the gel and one without the gel and all of this? Well, why? You only need 1 pen at the time. And if you want to call it one, that's 2 pens. That's it. Having all these other pens are useless. And if you need to have all these pens because they're important, put them all together in one box and keep them in the storage room. Not on your desk, certainly not in your drawers, so that should be clear, it should be nice, it should be clean. But here's an important tip, something to think about as you're cleaning or decluttering your office. Throwing away useful items is wasteful. You need to be considerate about that. We live in a beautiful world and beautiful country, and you should pay attention to that. Be sure to donate or swap the functional items that you have or the things that you no longer need. You might also work with some of your coworkers to organize, the colleagues and anybody else, a monthly goodwill donation, something that you want to give. You could specify the location and say, guys, in this box, that's where everything is going to be thrown out. And if you really can't part with it, then consider putting them in a box in the storage room and leave them there. If they're so important to you, then that's fine. At least your workplace won't suffer from the clutter. And the feeling of the agonizing type of emotions that you'll have that you can't part away from it, that's fine. I get it. I get it. I'm not saying you're a hoarder, but you're close to being that. But I get it. It's a little things. It's not like you've accumulated 12,000 different kinds of old dolls that nobody uses. But I get it. At the same time, you need to know that it's important to put them away so that your desk is clear and you can work properly and your mind will be able to operate properly. Lastly, and something that I think you need to know, you need to prioritize your workflow. Only to keep the relevant things in their active projects and the documents on the desks that you're working with right now. Look at this desk. I only have one piece of paper. That's all I need, because this is the outline of what I'm discussing with you. The points that I've just mentioned are written in here. That's all it is. That's all I need. Anything else is useful. That, for me, not now, useless. So this is useful, the rest is useless. Well, the same thing, it should be on your desk. You say, well, I'll be working on these other things later. Then have a box of where you're putting these other things later. Because when work gets backed up, it's easy to get overwhelmed and stall all the productivity. So here's what I recommend that you do. In the projects, you can group them in order to prioritize them. You can have 3 different groups: important and urgent, important without urgency, and non-urgent and non-important. That way you know what you have to do. It's not so easy, and I understand that. And some of you think, well, I'm getting my work done. It's not so much are you getting the work done, is can you do more if you didn't have these other things pending on you. I remember when I was in practice, gosh, sometimes I would get home and just nightmare of thinking how many reports I had to complete. You know what? You don't need to do that. If you time yourself and you do it on an appropriate day. Tuesday is the day I do all my reports, then done. That's it. Never have to worry about it again. Thursday is when I do all of my catch-up. Friday is when we have our meetings. Every Tuesday, on the 3rd Tuesday of each month, is when we do our report of findings. Whatever it is, break it down into processes that you can use. Create a calendar and follow through. When you start responding, instead of reacting to life, life will start responding to you. And if I ask you, what is the measure of success? The true answer is results. All life asks of us is that we make measurable progress in a reasonable time. You see, the things that are easy to do are also easy not to do. That's the difference between success and failure, between daydreams and ambitions. Dreams are a projection of the kind of life you want to lead. When you allow your dreams to pull you forward, they unleash a creative force that can overpower everything in your way. And you can live the life that you wish to live. Happy, productive, and certainly continuously growing. As always, I wish all the best for you, and I look forward to hearing good news above and beyond. So let's make it happen, and God bless you. Thank you. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell to get my latest update.